It's a contradiction city over Biden's Docu drama. The Secret Service is ready to turn over who visited the president's Delaware home if requested by Congress. But wait, the White House said those visitor logs didn't exist. Sounds like a good question to ask Karine Jean-Pierre. But we all know that's a fool's errand. Karine.
I already answered your question. Go ahead.
You really didn't.
Well, I did.
No, you didn't.
Well, it's your opinion.
I'm having a hard time understanding why
I just said
questions about procedure.
And I just said to you, the White House counsel's office will be able to address that question.
From this point on, are you not going to be taking questions about the classified documents?
I have been very clear over and over again. We are going to be prudent. Again, that's for the Department of Justice.
Why is it a DOJ question?
And let's be clear, it's not your decision to make of what I can or can't answer from here.
Let's be clear. So you can see why the White House reporters have had enough of Jean-Pierre. According to a new report, members have grown exasperated and call her briefings a painful waste of time. All this comes as Jesse Waters gets his hands on some spicy new Hunter Biden photos showing the disgraced first son cruising around in Joe's prized Corvette just outside the garage. And Jesse, if you noticed, he's driving with the Blurs. Do you know the Blurs? They're a family of blurred people.
That was his niece and her friend. And by the way they were dressed, it looked like they're going to the beach. And this was right around the time he was cutting a deal with the Chinese for $6 million to the Biden family. And right around the time that these documents were in the garage. I don't know if he left the garage door open, closed. I don't know if Hunter was the one that moved the boxes of documents into the garage, and if he had any help moving those in, but we have no idea. The thing was, at this time, he had no Secret Service detail between the time he was VP and by the time he was the nominee. So who knows who was in and out of the garage. Now, they say they don't really have records of these logs from the president's private residence. Bongino says, you know, they might have a record of the pool or the pizza guy that comes in, but if, like, Paulie P comes over to watch the game and talk stocks with Hunter, they're not going to jot his name down. Remember Bill Clinton in Chappaqua when Hillary would leave for LaGuardia, and 5 minutes later the mistress would show up? They code-named her the Energizer Bunny. She was not on any visitor log for a private residence, but we'll see how it shakes out.
All right. Excellent reporting, Jesse.
Thank you very much. Want some more spicy photos tonight at 7.
Exactly. You know, Jessica, you said that in the break that you're fed up with Karine Jean-Pierre. Why are you such a racist homophobe?
Greg. Cringe I wasn't expecting because that wasn't in the teleprompter. So, this is being handled poorly.
Yeah.
From a communication standpoint. If you say it's a DOJ problem, then you demand that a DOJ spokesperson show up and tell everybody there will be no comment until X time when we have more information or something can leak out from the special counsel. But this is something that is really upsetting to Democrats. First of all, that he had them when he wasn't supposed to have them, but that we have no idea about the timeline of all of this. And it's not something that I believe still is comparable to what went on with former President Trump, because he had to be stalked to get these documents back. And, you know, Jay Brad had to show up at Mar-a-Lago to have a conversation with them because they said we returned everything and they hadn't done it. And it seems that the Biden administration is cooperating. But you have to make those details clear so that people who are your supporters can continue to have faith in the fact that you did handle this as responsibly as possible. No one thinks that there aren't former officials that have classified documents in bad places. Stuff happens, like you move out of offices, things, and you should return them when you figure that out. But by just stonewalling and saying, I can't answer that, I'm not going to answer that, then you leave people to their wildest imaginations. And it's not great, especially when he's supposed to announce that he's running for re-election again in a couple of weeks.
There you go, Judge. Is this the effect, the deliberate effect from the Democrats to keep him from launching?
Well, I think I said this last week. I said, you know what? This could be the Democrats saying we got to get this geezer out of the way. But I have to respond, Jessica, to what you said, only because you said it was so much worse than Trump. Here's the difference between Trump and Biden. Trump could declassify. Biden could not. Biden had the records for 6 years. They were from the Obama White House, okay? And Biden had them in a place paid for by the Chinese, $50 million, okay? In addition to that, Biden was not honest with the American people. They knew on November 2nd that they had classified documents found by lawyers who are apparently at nighttime moving men with no clearance. And then they found stuff on December 20th. But when they told us about it on January 9th, they weren't honest about the fact that they also had stuff from December 20th. So I don't think it's a question of them handling it poorly. I think it's a question of them handling it dishonestly. And I'll tell you another thing. I think Karine Jean-Pierre, if she had any respect for herself and her own career, she would say, do not send me out in front of the American public looking like I'm covering up, like I'm lying, or I'm an idiot. You either tell me or you give me someone to refer him to.
Exactly right.
And that, hold on one second. Yeah. Hold that thought. Dana, this leads me to my big $1 million question. You know, the press secretaries are a very small club, female press secretaries, even smaller, literally, because they weigh
Tiny.
less. Yeah. Has Karine ever reached out to you to say, hey, I need some help? You were really good at this.
No, I'm sure. And look, she's got a lot of friends and supporters. I'm sure she could call any member of their group, for example, like Jen Psaki. But what the judge just said, I think, is very, very correct. So Biden and Klain have allowed this woman to go out there. One, they either didn't tell her, and I believe when she said she didn't know, she found out the same day that the press corps did. So it looks like she was involved in a cover-up if she did know, but she didn't know. So then they're like, oh, wait, so you don't know what you're talking about? So you don't have the confidence of the chief of staff? And they just sit there and let her twist in the wind every single day. And by the way, where's Kamala Harris? Help a sister out. If I were Kamala Harris, I would go into the chief of staff's office and to Biden and say, tomorrow, somebody from the Justice Department is going to help her out, and they're going to walk through this timeline, or you are ruining her ability to have a command in that room. And when you have White House reporters start to talk to the press about how unhappy they are, it's very hard to dig out of that. You know, at a construction site, it'll say 80 days without a safety incident. At the White House, they have 0 days of providing inaccurate information. Partly it's her fault in that she has to make sure to protect herself. That's your number one job because it's the only asset that you have. But the president himself and Ron Klain, the chief of staff, owe her something better than what they have provided because they are making her job so much harder than it needs to be.
Did you want a last word, Jessica, or is it already, has that
Oh,
moment
no, it was
passed?
about the timeline of things and that there's no evidence that Trump declassified things, but everyone knows that I feel that way and the judge feels this way, and I think Dana makes a great point about them offering some help.
I get it. All right.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.